Really, officer? I was only doing like 1/100th of a mile over. I'm Matt Faulkner, and this is Overtime. On this episode of Overtime, we're going to talk a little bit about pit road speed. We'll talk about the history of pit road speed, how pit road speed is policed in NASCAR, and how that affected our race at Phoenix this weekend. Pit road speed has been around NASCAR for about 30 years. I don't know how many current day fans know this, but before 1991, you could go as fast as you wanted down pit road. You could race down pit road. You'd see cars side by side running down pit roads. I think in Days of Thunder you can see this. You can see Cole Trickle and Rowdy Burns racing side by side down pit road.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
The focus on safety was way different than it is now. Pit crew guys wore caps and no safety gear at all, whereas now you see full helmets, a lot of safety gear, fire protection, and then one thing that goes hand in hand with this safety is pit road speed. Pit road speed came out in 1991 after a tragic accident with one of Bill Elliott's pit crew members in the last race of 1990. Pit road speed varies per track, usually depending on the size of the track. So smaller tracks have pit road speeds as low as 30 miles per hour, and bigger tracks have pit road speeds up to 55 miles per hour. Traveling down pit road in NASCAR is a little bit more challenging than it is in a lot of sports car series. In NASCAR, you don't have a speed button. In F1 and in a lot of other series, the drivers will have a button on the steering wheel that lets them, it limits the amount of throttle that they can use down pit road. So they push the button, they go down pit road, they automatically go right to the edge of the speed limit, and they're good to go. We don't have a device like that in NASCAR, so we rely on the driver to maintain consistent throttle amount down pit road and ride the edge of the pit road speed as best they can. They do this with lights on the tachometer.
Going to 5 red, 3, 2, 5 red, 1 red, and 3, 2, 1 red.
There's a sweep of 6 or 7 lights that are different colors depending on the driver. But say that a driver knows that 7 red lights is right on the limit of pit road speed and he might get caught. Some drivers will run, one below that to stay conservative. Other drivers will run right on it. You'd probably notice some drivers get caught for speeding more often than others, and that's why some feel the need to push that a little bit closer to the edge than others do. Also, pit road speed is segmented into, I'd say, an average of 9 or 10 segments per pit road. Each pit road is different per track, and you can't speed in any of the segments. So if pit road is divided into 10 segments, if you go 1/100th of a mile an hour over the speed limit in one of the segments, you get a full penalty. You have to be under the speed limit in every single segment. It's not an average of all the segments.
This is a long and looping pit road, curved around turn number 1, and those pie-shaped segments give some of these drivers trouble.
What makes it an additional challenge, especially at Phoenix this weekend, was that there's a curve in the middle of pit road. So when the car runs through the radius of the corner, the distance of the segments varies from the inside lane to the outside lane, and you can go faster on the outside than you can go on the inside and not get caught speeding. So there's an extra challenge at tracks like Phoenix that have a radius as part of pit road, and you'll see at tracks like that more drivers getting caught speeding than at tracks with just a traditional straight pit road. NASCAR will give you 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. So for example, Phoenix this week, the pit road speed limit was 45 miles per hour, and they will give you up to 50 miles per hour in any segment before they count you as speeding. It's not like they pull you over for going 1/100th of a mile an hour over pit road speed. They pull you over for going 5 1/100th miles per hour over the speed limit.
You know how fast you were going?
65.
63.
Officer, isn't the speed limit 65?
Yeah, it is.
There's very little argument when you get caught speeding. You were already doing 5 over. It's not like, they were that picky on what they pulled you over for. So to speak. And this weekend, Kyle Busch got caught with one segment being 0.03 of a mile an hour over 50. So even though the speed limit was 45, he got busted for going 50.03. There was another instance where Denny Hamlin got caught and he was doing 50.01 miles per hour. So it was speeding, it was over, but I guess that kind of gives you an idea of how close to the edge we have to push it to be competitive on pit road. If you chose to go down pit road at 45 or 47 miles per hour, you would lose a few spots every time you pitted.
I guess I'm being spontaneous. Somebody help me!
So it's crucial that we push that to the absolute limit. Sometimes we get caught. That's unfortunate. I think you saw Denny get caught and never was really able to rebound from that penalty. So pit road's a big part of what we do in race prep. We work with the drivers to make sure they're getting the most out of every single segment, and that's one of the ways, one of many ways that we prepare the driver and the car to be the best it can be on a given weekend.